So you're talking about a hero that has a lot of utility and has better range than Tracer. Tracer has a lot more mobility, so she can move faster and quickly, like, you know, do this and do this. And right, your blinks are dual tools. In other words, they're tools that you use to win duels so that you can beat people, right? But if I'm standing at like 30 meters here, bingo, right? But as soon as I back to 20 meters, right? Even if it's all headshots, 1 clip, 2 clip, 3 clip, right? So this is no good, okay? Like if you're holding a long angle as Tracer, you're not really doing anything at all, right? But you go Sombra,
everything can be hacked, and everyone.
You go Sombra in the same range. And again, all headshots, of course, so it's a little bit exaggerated, but... And that's not even half of my clip. Right? It's not even half of my clip. So, forget hack, screw EMP. Your damage at range is much better than Tracer. Much better than Tracer. The pressure that you put out from this angle, whether it's on a BAP or a monkey or a diva, you know, your jiggle picking here, is so much stronger. And if they ignore you, you build EMP, or as they engage on your team, you know, on main here, you shoot, hack, right? You get the hack, and now that person is dead. You don't like this. Sombra is not meant to rush in and try and 1v1 the BAP on the backline, or to 1v1 the Tracer on the flank. That's why, like, Sombra is the reason why you own, like, Sombra is such a weird hero, because she's like not as strong in a lot of different metas. Like, you think about Sombra goats. So the reason why she worked well in goats is because there weren't a lot of ranged threats. There was Zen, and that was basically it. And then what did people start doing? Well, they started picking Hanzo, and then they started stormbowing, and then they forced the Sombra Translicate out because it hit one body shot with stormbow, and you're like, oh shoot, if I get headshot here, I'm dead. So they'd force her out. Same thing with like Kree comps. If you play Sombra into Kree, that you're not scared of flash, you're scared of the damage, because you want to just hold an angle and shoot, but McCree's better at it. He's better ranged than you, right? So Sombra's in this really weird situation where she's a flanker, but she's a flanker with range, right? Kind of like Genji. And so you just kind of put pressure on the angle, put pressure on the angle, put pressure on the angle, put pressure on the angle. If they ignore you, you farm EMP and you punish them. I really like playing Sombra on Ilios well, for example, and just quick play or whatever, because I find that it's a perfect range to where I can play corner and cover and find like my perfect fall off range without having to worry about like snipers and stuff. But the enemy team struggles to close the distance to me. And so heroes like, you know, Reaper and Tracer and Winston and things like that, and Ryan, those guys can't just run it down mid and pick me off. Sombra 76, honestly, like Sombra is very similar to 76 in how she plays. Very similar. Angles, you survive on the angle and you put pressure. A lot of teams do this number as Sombra. They do this. You guys ever played Sombra dive like this? They do this. All right, guys. I'm behind their Ana. Let me know when we're going in. 3, 2, 1, and they start to come out of stealth. And then the Brig turns around and bashes at the Sombra, and then the Sombra translocates out, right? She's like, oh shoot, I'm out. And then your monkey's in, and you're running back and getting a health back. That is, so many teams play Sombra dive like this, and it makes me nauseous. The way to play Sombra dive is, if you're playing into like snipers, then yeah, you're gonna have to be behind them and poke them out. But most of the reason, and dive mirror, most of the way you play Sombra is this. All right, guys, you guys ready to dive? 3, 2, 1, diving. Your monkey dives in first. You pop out, and you're doing this. Oh, they're coming after me. They're coming after me. Coming after me. Coming after me. Oh. You know, and you do that. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing with Sombra. Most of the time in the dive mirror. Now, if you're playing into spam, where there's like the threat of one shot, so you got to kill the squishies fast, then yes. But even against spam, like snipers, you are not the first person to show up. You let your monkey or ball engage first. 3, 2, 1, monkey jumps, and you come out immediately afterwards. Because it's a lot harder for them to get rid of your monkey than it is for them to get rid of you. Do you counter Sombra with CC? You counter Sombra with CC, or you counter Sombra with range? CC means that any mistake that she makes with positioning is punished. Remember how we talked about how Monkey can be countered by Reaper or Monkey can be countered by Tracer? One prevents him from staging, the other prevents him from diving, right? With CC, if the Sombra screws up with her positioning and gets a little too aggressive, she gets CC and she dies. The other way to counter Sombra is to poke her out. She comes out of stealth, you McCree shoots her once or twice, and then all of a sudden she's gone. right? She can't stay. Tracer can stay. Tracer can juke. Tracer can use cover. Tracer can recall. Sombra can't stay. That's why Torb is so good against Sombra. Right, exactly. It's not. It's the shots against Sombra, but it's also the turret. The turret is obnoxious. If you decloak at the wrong time, turret turns on you, and you just have to leave. You have to leave. You can't break it fast enough. Turret is rough as Sombra because it's constantly guarding a sightline that you want to decloak on. So in a lot of ways, McCree shot is more of a counter. Posh check, thank you. Is more of a counter to Sombra than the actual shot, than the actual like flashbang itself. Are you forcing resources on Ana? Yes. Yes, right? But I want you to picture this. You come out of stealth. Their Brig has 1 or 2 functioning brain cells and armor packs their Ana, throws a whip shot at you and starts to run at you swinging. You have to translocate out almost instantly. Almost instantly. And then you're out of the fight. And there's no chance of you killing Ana. There's no chance of you killing Brig. You don't force any cooldowns outside of armor pack and maybe whip shot. And you've burned every cooldown in your book. And you're mispositioned out of the fight in need of healing and not doing any damage. Now I want you to compare that with this. You're playing a longer sightline. You're not looking to stage on backline until they come into you. And instead, you're going to stand right here and you're going to hold mouse 1 on monkey. Right from this angle. You're just going to hold mouse 1 on monkey. How much pressure are you putting out right here? If you hold mouse 1 on monkey, how much pressure are you putting out right now? If you hack monkey, how much pressure are you putting out right now? But he just can't jump. If you hack Zarya or shoot Zarya or hack Brig right now, what are they going to do? Now, right now you decloak and now you shoot on because now she's in your space. But you have a much stronger sightline. I want you to be looking for longer sightlines and forcing fewer dives onto enemy backline. Longer sightlines, and why is that? What is the enemy team running? What is the enemy team running? Very important here. What is the range of the enemy composition? Zarya? Yeah, they're running short range dive. Does this comp have any range at all? No. You outrange every single hero on this comp, so you need to abuse that. So let me put it this way. Your angle as Sombra is dependent on the enemy composition. Against short range, you play like a sniper. On an angle. Against very spam heavy comps, then your angle is less frontliney, right? Because if a Hanzo wall climbs up here, that's not, you don't want to just sit here and hold mouse 1 here, right? That's when you'd rotate behind. You force the squishier glass cannon long range heroes to turn around. That's where Sombra needs to angle. But the funny thing is, young Rokog or Polar, right, is against those compositions, against the sniper heavy compositions, what would you be playing Sombra into those? In other words, if this team was opening out on like a Rissa Sig, Bat Brig, Ashe, May, would you even be playing Sombra into that? No. What hero would you be playing? Probably Tracer. Because she's more self-sufficient and her damage threat is better. You don't need Sombra's range because you know you're going to lose the range war anyway. So you don't play that game. You play the duel game. Exactly. Exactly. So your contribution here, you're tracking really good. But you're forcing dives onto their backline. I'm not talking about spawn camping on it. That's just farming ult charge and you know, a free kill. You take it. But when you actually are fighting, I don't want you forcing backline without help. You see what I'm saying? You are AFKing on an angle, holding mouse 1 until they clear you out. You force them to clear. You force that monkey to jump you. If he jumps you, great, good cooldown trade. If they don't, if they ignore you and you just farm them, and then their backline walks in and your monkey goes in, then you go in as well. Alrighty. So you're right here. This is it. This is it. This is it right here. Now you have your choice. Like, they didn't even clear high ground. You could hack Brig, you could hack Genji, you could shoot Zarya. Zarya's used bubbles, I think, so you wouldn't hack her. Yeah, so you wouldn't hack a Zarya. But you could shoot Monkey across the map. Because again, like, your damage against Monkey here at this range is actually stupid good. Like, it is really good. Like, you were almost Soldier 76 level of damage at this range. This monkey dies. And you went for the Ana? I mean, that's okay. She's in the middle of a fight. She might die here. But what I'm saying is that you're flexible with your target selection here. Just live.
Apagando las luces.
The best tip I have for Sombras with EMP is simultaneously don't wait. Let's say don't be greedy, but have patience. What do I mean by that? I want you to think. Yeah, exactly. So you're not don't look for big EMPs. Look for whatever you can get. 2 people, great. 3 people, even better. Solo EMPs usually not worth, very, very rarely, but at least 2 or 3, totally fine. Just make sure that those 2 and 3 people are accessible to your team. Right now, these guys are too close to cover, and your team can't follow up through the choke. You see this? So the problem isn't that, oh, I only EMP'd Winston Zarya. That's fine. Sometimes that's totally fine. I'm totally cool with that. The problem is how close this Winston Zarya are near to cover. And obviously you catch Zarya personal bubble as well, so she doesn't even drop the HP. That's the problem here. Because if you think about it, you don't need to rush EMP here, because what is the enemy team doing right now? Are they doing anything dangerous or lethal at all? Are they really contesting your space? Not really. This isn't doing anything. Like, you guys are going to bubble trade right here, and nothing's going to happen. The enemy team is not going to do anything. Your team is at no risk whatsoever. Your monkey's at no risk. Nobody's at any risk whatsoever. Good EMPs win fights, not hit 6 people. Exactly. I'm glad you seem to have the right mindset with Sombra. At least in that regard. You need to play like long into your angle needs to depend on the enemy composition. An enemy composition that doesn't have spam you don't need to take angles on the backline. Instead, you take long sight lines, and like Tracer, you control the map. You don't seek duels with Tracer like Tracer with Sombra, but you just control the map, and that and the EMP thing. If is acceptable. Okay, by the way, I'm sorry, Polar, can you get in voice? Okay, because your long sightline is fine, but if your team is going to go in hyper aggressive, you can get away with going backline, and you're not going to get cleared, because that was the main issue with going backline. It wasn't just that, oh, you don't have a good angle. You're on an angle on backline. Obviously, that's an angle in of itself. The problem is that it's how easy it is for them to clear you out on the shorter sightline. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas if you play a longer sightline, like let's just say you can magically get here, and if your team doesn't go aggressive here, you can get packed here, you can spam out the monkey, and it takes them a lot longer to poke you out. Like the Genji would have to commit dash, the Winston would have to commit jump for them to get rid of you. This is lucky. Like this is there's Zarya.
This is funny. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Zarya just muffs it. So. Poor guy. My favorite is he turns around and threateningly chops his blade at you in the air. I love this so much. Like, watch. Yeah, I'll be back. You just wait. Yeah, see? Yeah, look at that. That could have been you. That's just excellent. Great hack. And think about this like this way. If you already have EMP, or you're going to have it, EMP, which, I mean, pretty much going to have it, you hacking the health packs, what does that do to their Tracer?
It makes it so that she can't flank as much.
Right. She has to play like, yeah, she has to play beta Tracer basically, because she can't like go solo contest flank. Exactly, because she takes any damage, she instantly recalls, or she has to go back and peek. Is there any reason for you guys to rush this EMP right now, or for you to like aggressively EMP right now?
Probably not. No.
No. Do you have the position? Nanoblade has been used. It's really on the enemy team to make a play, for them to do something aggressively, in which case you can just counter EMP and they're done. Or they can not do something and just push cart, and then they just walk into your team and you can just EMP them that way, right? So they either do something really aggressive or silly and you can counter EMP that, or they don't do anything silly and you guys just chill and, you know, smoke cigarettes and, you know, eat Cheetos, and then you just EMP them once they just walk out in the open here. So you're kind of forced, like your pathing is trash, but it's not just the pathing and the translocator. It feels like your whole mental is like you're rushing things right now. Like even right now, this is I'm okay. I'm honestly okay with this. I'm honestly okay with this. Like this is good. It's a little telegraphed because you're pressing W before you EMP. But do you see, like, do you see what you do here? They go in, and now look what you got. Uno, dos, tres, and you catch Brig too. Like, these guys are screwed. Unless they, like, there's no way they should win this fight. They should all instantly die. And I know you're thinking like, oh, we didn't kill them instantly, so it was a bad EMP. But look at this here. They grabbed. They got nothing on a grav, right?
Yeah.
But what else do you notice? Look at their positioning and look at your team's positioning.
Yeah, we maintained the high ground.
You maintained high ground. You prevented them from actually contesting high ground. And they nanoed. So they nano, grav, and what has happened for them? Like
Nothing.
Jack. Nothing has happened. They have done nothing. They have made no progress whatsoever. Monkey jumps in without bubble and instantly hack and he's dead. You just play to protect your high ground. You just play to protect your position and they just can't win. They literally just cannot win. Like, honestly, I would just translocate out. You know what I'm saying? Why would I do that?
Because I have EMP and
well not just EMP.
Ground.
Well, not just EMP. Not okay. Where's the fight happening?
Probably gonna be on the high ground
here,
corner. Yeah.
Here. We don't care about this. We don't care about this. You somehow got 2 kills here, you and your Genji, whatever. But your backline's here. This is where the fight happens, not over here. So don't even bother shooting the monkey. It's not like, oh, I already have EMP. I don't need... No. Don't even be fighting here. You're gone. Wait for them to go into your space. Well, okay, walk me through this. Walk me through this. This is a fat EMP. It's 4 people. It's not terrible. But what's the issue here? Like, minor issue, but it's worth bringing up.
Alright, Zarya's on a position.
Yeah, like, it's not just your Zarya. Like
backline.
You've got no nade. You've got no armor pack. Your monkey's not ready. Is your monkey even... Can your monkey even jump yet? Okay, he can, but he's going to follow up, right? Which we hate. We hate this. And you can already see the enemy positioning and why it's bad. Like, this Tracer's probably dead, but, like, look, do you see how easily... Like, how much time they had to kite? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Very good. Really well done. And you might not always... The thing with the EMPs is almost very rarely you're going to get like a fat EMP and everybody just instantly dies. But you have to look at this like 2 different ways. What you've done with this EMP is you have hacked Zarya. So we look at Monkey here. There's Bubble. He gets Bubble, but there's no damage follow-up from Zarya. There's no armor packs on their Monkey. There's no armor packs on their DPS. Genji cannot follow up with this Monkey. And the Ana, instead of supporting her Monkey and nading Monkey, etc., now has to hard peel her squishy backline. You see this? So not only is it what you're doing here, it's what you've done to completely isolate this guy. And we're going to look at the kills here. First kill was on the squishy that you EMP'd. The second kill was on the tank that you didn't EMP, but who got left behind.
And then probably just like the timing of like when I like not going for the back, like not just forcing backline kills and actually like trying to farm tanks and hold angles. And like meanwhile while I'm doing that, I can work on like what comp I'm playing against. Am I playing against Poke or
right.
Yeah,
exactly. Because if you're playing Sombra and against like Bap Zen, then obviously go backline. You know, don't just stand angles, get Discord to get your head blown off. But so it just depends on like how deep the angle and like with the comp that you're playing.